ago, we told you about GeneBlueprint's personalized fitness and nutrition plans that can align with your goals and lifestyle, and how it all starts with a DNA test. Well, we did the test. In fact, we did the test twice. We mixed up the first one. And we are now here. We're so excited to review our results. So joining us, GeneBlueprint CEO Paul Mercante and Product Manager Cole Kirschner. Welcome back to What She Said. Are you ready for all the questions we have?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, you're used to it, but nobody else is. And for anybody listening, it's confusing.
Yep, we're here to field any questions you guys have about your results, kind of walk you through how you respond to the foods and exercises.
So quick refresher, you get the DNA samples, you got ours. Where did they go from there?
Kate and Christine, thanks for having us on. And we did receive your DNA samples, and we won't talk about the first error.
Okay.
We won't talk about that. So
never mind.
they actually go to our they go to our office, and then from our office they go to our laboratory at McMaster University.
Then you get the results. If you sign up online, and our results arrived last night. So I was interested to find out some things about me, but what did you find out? Can you give us sort of a summary of us?
Yeah, so we found out a few interesting things. So for carb and fat tolerance, you guys respond a little bit differently when compared to each other. So Kate, you actually have a pretty low fat tolerance.
Yeah, I was surprised about that.
Yeah. So maybe you shouldn't have too much fat in your diet. Based on your carbohydrate and your fat tolerance, we have an ideal macronutrient ratio breakdown for you. So we would recommend 35% carbs, 35% protein, and 30% fat. Now, for Christine, your fat tolerance was 64 out of 100, and carbohydrate tolerance was 58 out of 100. So what we'd recommend for you is 45% carbs, 20% protein, and 35% fat to get the most benefit from your diet.
And what I like about the program, when you see it, when you go in to look at things, there are the alcohol sensitivity. I thought was we can both hold our booze, Christine. But it explains the sensitivity. That's the output, and then it gives you the top genetic contributions. But it also gives you considerations. So then it tells you about what you should be doing, and there are suggestions for diet. Everything under each category. I thought the most fascinating thing for me was the training side of it, because my strength was 99% out of 100. I'm strong like bull.
What I noticed about the results were they're very comparable. You guys could be sisters.
Really?
In the sense that, you had similar scores with respect to joint health, strength, caffeine, almost very, very similar. And then how you respond to certain environmental anxiety markers. You scored very similar.
We've been working together way.
Our
DNA is
for example, morningness.
That's
where I am not a morning person.
That's where I was going with this. Where you guys where you differentiate a little bit is in your morningness. Christine, you don't want to wake up in the morning and do this show at 7 a.m. You would rather do it at 11 a.m., I guess.
Yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I like to ease into my day. Some people just bounce out of bed and they're on it, and then later at night they kind of slow down. I'm completely lucid at 1 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have trouble shutting off.
Yeah, it has to do with like your circadian rhythm, like your internal biological clock. There's actually certain genes that we test for that actually regulate that. So it really does come down to your genetics, what time you prefer to wake up at.
I'm thinking, okay, this is from a DNA test, but what if I'm a slob and I'm a couch potato my whole life, and I sit there and I do absolutely nothing, I never work out, my muscles aren't in tone at all, and meanwhile she is working out or doing whatever, how does that DNA test reflect that?
That's a really good question. And actually one of the best examples we can look at was your strength scores. Strength scores were in the 90, 97, 99, so in the very high. So we have to factor in that what percentage of strength is a heritable trait versus which is based off of the environment. So your baseline strength is much higher than the average person. Now, strength is a trainable human characteristic.
Okay.
So if you decided to be the couch potato that you were referring to, and I had a very low strength score, but I dedicated to improving my strength through physical activity, proper nutrition. It's not to say that I couldn't outperform you in a certain.
I'm just predetermined to be stronger.
Exactly. Your baseline is stronger. So if we had the exact same genetic scores and we did the exact same, we should be able to achieve the same amount of success with respect to strength.
Okay, so I just want to go back to the nutrition thing quickly because I'm a little bit confused. You're talking about genetic tolerance to fats, to carbohydrates, to proteins.
Lactose.
And yeah, but I'm talking about usually they say that a balanced meal, and it may be different foods, would be sort of a third protein, a third complex carbs, a third fat. You're saying in my case be 40, 40, 20. Wouldn't my nutrition be off if I only got 20% protein?
Yeah, so all of our meal plans, all of our recommendations for the macronutrients, like the protein, for instance, fall within the Canadian guidelines for food. In terms of the carbohydrate and fat, recommending not the standard ratio, it really comes down to metabolizing it for energy. So it's really not going to affect your health outcomes in a negative way, but rather it's going to help you have more energy by metabolizing carbohydrates and fats. I mean, some people really can't handle carbohydrates too well, and based on their genetics, we can find that out if they're going to have insulin spikes throughout the day. So we're just trying to avoid those problems. So there's really no one size fits all when it comes to diet.
Well, I mean, it is fascinating to have the the science behind knowing what we should be eating and what kind of workout will benefit our body the most and will help us grow in strength. We talked a little about who would benefit from doing this test last time. Who would you recommend it to?
Yeah, so it's interesting because anybody who has a specific goal in mind. So, when we looked at a third with the macronutrient breakdown, it was really pending on what someone's goal was, and we never want to lose sight of that. So if an individual had a goal to have sustained, to get off of what they've been a victim of, like yo-yo dieting, to have a long-term compliance on a diet that is geared towards someone's genetic profile, the research suggests that there's a higher aptitude that they would be able to adhere to this type of nutrition program. So really, we are the people that best perform on this type of nutrigenomics, what it is called, would be somebody who has been a victim of a fad diet, or they are yo-yo dieting, or they've tried 2 or 3 different diets within a year. So then we can really dial into what their genetics would say.
Now, the workout plan we haven't got yet because you were explaining to me your man has to do them personally, and he's an Olympic
strength coach based out of the UK. So he gets your results, he gets your goal, and based on that, he tailors each program individually to you.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
So you are offering people $75 off the test if they put in WSS17, that code, into the website, which is?
The website is www.GeneBlueprint.com.
For $75 off the whole test. So was there anything that really stuck out to you about us?
Like I said, I was amazed at how close some of your results were, and I was just asking Cole on the ride in. I'm like, are they related? Are they cousins? Or
I know we got the same haircut. We look like people often think we are sisters.
Same energy, and then the caffeine thing really struck me. It was very, very similar. Did anything strike? Did you have any surprises to any of these results? Did you say, "Oh, well, that can't be right," or "I was totally surprised by how strong I thought I was," or how I was not apt to endurance training or something like that, based on your own?
You were surprised about the lactose sensitivity,
Yeah,
because you were told you were lactose sensitive.
Sensitive, but again, I've never been before, so this is probably something with age and whatever, I don't know. And let me quickly ask you, just for vitamins, you have a B vitamin. Are you at risk of vitamin B deficiency? What's your response to omega-3s? Did you get enough sun today? Vitamin D?
Yep.
What is that useful for people to know?
So for supplementation, I mean, if someone has a really high vitamin B response, for instance, that means that they would benefit a lot from taking B vitamins. So maybe try throwing in a multivitamin or supplementing with just pure B vitamins out there. Same thing for vitamin D and omega-3. So it's just kind of giving you guys incentive to supplement.
Well, this is a whole plan. Everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Vitamins,
Absolutely.
food, and workout. Love it.
Thank you so much for joining us. And this will be up on our website if people want to connect with you and use that code.
Awesome. Thanks,
Perfect.
guys.
Yes, thank you for having us.
It's been fun.
This is what she said. Stay with us.
She said.